Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to dive into how to create and restore file shares snapshot in Azure. This is crucial for anyone looking to protect their data and recover from accidental deletion or change. Let's break this down step by step so you can confidently manage file share snapshot in your Azure environment. Before we start, let's quickly understand what file share snapshots are. Simply put, a snapshot is a read-only copy of your Azure file share at a specific point in time. This can be lifesaver if you accidentally delete files or need to revert back to an old version of your data. Snapshots don't take as much space as you might think because Azure only stores the difference between the current state and a snapshot. This is both efficient and cost-effective. So let's get to it. All right, so to start, let's navigate to portal.azure.com. What we're going to do is to create a storage account. So we create a storage account, enable file share, and what we will do is we will place a file in a file share, and then we will try to create a snapshot of that file, and then we will see how that goes. So let's get to it. So let's create the storage account. So let's just type in storage and go to storage account. And just going to create a brand new storage account here by clicking create. Just have to put it in the details. So I'll save this one in one of my existing resource group. So let's see which one I would like to go for. I'll go for the lab test storage group, but you can simply create your own storage group if you wish to. So I'll name this one as test store. Place this one in. All right, so the test store, obviously the name have to be unique. So let me add some few numbers to it to make that unique. And I'm going to place this one in this region in UK South. And for the primary service, I'll select Azure Files. Performance wise, I'll leave that as standard. And I'll leave the default as it is, and I'll just review and create. All right, so I'll just proceed to create the storage. All right, so deployment is successful. So let's go to the resource. So this will take us directly to our storage account that we just created. And what we're going to do is scroll to the bottom here and then click on data storage, then select file shares. Now we're going to create a new file share. So click on the plus button next to this file share icon here. And I'll just leave this one as file share. And for tier, I'll leave as it is. And I'll simply review and create. There you go. Right, so the file has been created successfully, so we can connect directly to this file share by clicking this button. So what we will do is, right, we will set up, I've already set up a virtual machine for this demo. So I'll use the virtual machine to connect to my file share and then generate a file within the virtual machine and place that into the file share that is connected to it. So first of all, let's connect to the VM. So to do that, I'm just going to go straight to my VM by just typing VM at the top here and go to virtual machines, select my VM, and then I will simply connect to my VM by clicking on this button here and then click connect. And I can simply download the RDP file and use that to connect. So I'm just going to save that. And then once that is saved, I can click on the file to open the file and connect to my VM. So I'm just going to log in. All right, so I've successfully logged into my VM, and as you can see at the moment, let's see the file directory here. So I'm just going to type in documents. I'll select it from here, click on File Explorer, and if I click on this PC, I do not have the drive or anything set up here. I only have the C drive and DVD drive. So we're going to attach our new storage file to this. So I'll minimize this for the meantime, and then I'll navigate back to the storage account. Select the new storage account that we created, and then we go into the file share. Click on the file share, and we can click on connect. So in here, I'll leave the drive for this as Z. And since we're connecting to Windows, we leave this one as Windows. Leave the drive as Z, or you can change it to whatever letter you like. And for the storage account key, I'm just going to use that one. So I'll leave that as it is. And then I'll show the script that we can use to set this up. So click on this, and then you simply copy this to your window so you can set this up. So I'm just going to copy, and then I can go to my VM, open up PowerShell. So right click on the start menu, open up PowerShell in admin permission, and I'll paste the script here. Then you can simply press on enter to complete. So the setup has been completed successfully. So let's quickly go through what this one did. So as you can see from the command here, it connected to our storage account by connecting to this specific URL, and it's using this user, and then there is a storage key, account key here that is using to establish the connection. Once the connection is set up successfully, then it mounts the drive to on this system. And as you can clearly see, this is successful. If it wasn't successful, then you probably might get an error message like you're unable to reach out to the Azure cloud account. And in those cases, you need to check out your firewall rule to see if there's any firewall blocking traffic to 445. So you can check the local firewall, or you can check any kind of like external firewall or upstream firewall to ensure that there's no block to this port. Right. So once that is out of the way, you should then be able to see the new driver showing up on your system. So as you can see there, I got the driver here, and I can put in files. So I can double click on it, open up the drive, and I can place a file in. So I can right click it, click on new, and create a new text document. So I'll name this one as test, and I can open that file, and then I can type in, this is just a test. So once that is done, I can simply save this, and that's done. Close that down, minimize my VM. Now go back to the Azure plane, and we should be able to see this file if it's successful. So as you can see, that's the file right there. You can double click on the file and get more information about the file, or even you can download that file to access it as well. So if I click on download, once the file downloads to my system and I click on the file, you will notice that it counts up. Here is the file right here. And then it opens up successfully. All right. So whatever changes I make to, or any file I add to my drive, that can be accessible directly from my Azure plane as well. So now let's create a snapshot of this file. So once you have the file selected, let's click on operations here, and then create a snapshot. So I'm just going to add a snapshot. I'll give you this test, and I'll click on OK. So I've created a snapshot, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some changes to my file, and that means you can replicate a scenario whereby the file is corrupt or there is an issue with the file. Even if you lose the file, you can then come into the snapshot to restore it back. So what I'm going to do as a test is that I'll go back to my VM, and then I'll open up the file again, make some changes to that file by adding this is more test, and then I will save this. So I'm just going to click on file, save, minimize my VM, come back into here, go to the browse. When I re-download this file here, it should now be updated. So I'm just going to save this one, and then I'll open it. So when I open it this time round, as you rightly expect, it should have the new information I've added to the file. So what we're going to do now is that I'm just going to restore back the old file. So that means the old file did not contain this is small test. So that means it shouldn't show that other part of the information I placed in this file. So now to restore, what I have to simply do is click on the snapshot again, and then back to the file that we created a snapshot of. Then we can simply click on the file. Once it opens up, then you can right click on the file here, and then you can see the restore button. Or if you want to download it locally, then you can obviously click on the download button here. So I'm just going to restore this by clicking on restore, and then I'll give it a name as test2. So as you can see, restore as the copy and rename, or you can overwrite the original. So whichever options you want to go for, then you can go for that as well. So I'm just going to restore this one as a copy, and then obviously I've renamed that. But if you select this option, obviously you don't need to rename it, just going to replace it with the current one it has. So I'm just going to give a copy, create that, and it says restore file successfully. Now going back to our VM, what you can see is that it's now a secondary file here. So in case I have actually restored this file, then it wouldn't have any additional name, but this is just a test. So as you can see here, once I open the file, it should now have this is just a test. Right. So I hope this video helped you out. This is a very good way of restoring files back. So it's very important that each time you set up an Azure with a storage account linked to a VM, you make sure you do this type of backup, and it's cost effective as well, because it's not going to back up everything, it's just going to back up the difference. So I hope this video helped you out, and if you did and you liked the video, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.